Hi, I'm Michael Kurosh. I live in Santa Barbara, California, one of the most beautiful places on earth. My design center is where people come to reimagine their homes and spaces. I work with the best designers, clients with broad tastes, and experts who navigate the fascinating world of design. I'm always excited to learn something new, and I never say no to a challenge. This is Design Santa Barbara. Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Kurosh, and today we are in Santa Barbara Design Center, but about to head south again to Oxnard, California, where we're gonna meet Antoinette and her expert team. They're a bunch of wonderful designers that create amazing homes. But before we do that, let's review what we saw last week on Design Santa Barbara. Antoinette, that was the beautiful recap we just had.
Thank you.
You're a talented, not only designer, also talented TV star.
Oh, thank you.
She is.
That's always been my dream.
She's very good. All right, so now we have
Ashley. Yes.
Designer Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. Nice having you on our show. I appreciate it. It's the first time. Hopefully it's not the last time.
No,
it won't be. Definitely not.
Looking forward to it. So, please take away. Explain to our viewers what the process is and what you do.
So Ashley is the lead designer on this beautiful project, and she really was the brainchild behind not only the selections, space planning, you know, all of the cohesiveness running through the house, and artwork, accessories, lighting, along with the rest of our team, of course.
The towels?
Yes.
Down to the towels.
She was shopping.
Yes.
But designing like a mad woman on this project, and we had an intensely short timeline.
Yes. 9 months, I think?
Yeah.
9 months to do the whole house?
The whole house. So we came in guns blazing, kind of just put my head down and really got into the groove of designing this house.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And it was fun because the clients were super open and receptive to my ideas, our ideas as a company. Yeah. And we wanted to start with our concept. This is where we, begin every project. And so they live on the ocean, of course.
Easy concept,
right? But we wanted it to feel like a haven, right? They come here on the weekends, get out of the grind of LA and enjoy the space here. So we went with a really fun, cool color palette, and we kind of just took off from there.
Absolutely. When we do our concept design, we really are so collaborative with our clients, and it's about what they need, what they want. How does their family function in this space or need to function in this space? What areas do they need? We talked on the last episode a little bit about adding the bar. Our clients are avid wine collectors, so we really needed to go into the nitty-gritty of what they need and pull it out of each area of the home so that it's functional and cohesive all the way through. We start with the initial consultation, just pulling things from what the client needs, what they want, their wish list, their needs list. Luckily, this house, we started from the ground up, so we just had so much opportunity to decide on color palette, textures, all of that stuff. Concept design, we really start at the ground level, floor plans, elevations, 3D renderings. So talk a little bit about that, Ashley.
Yeah, so the bathrooms were probably the most fun I had on this project. really taking the color palette and exploding it each bathroom and choosing fun tiles and just making sure everything felt balanced. And so when our contractors come in, they say, oh, great tile, where do we put it? How much do we need? So it's really imperative that we give them a roadmap. You know, we give them the elevations, we tell them how much tile they need for the shower, for the floor, and showing also the client what it's going to look like with a 3D rendering.
This is very interesting because you can see that tile, but you don't know how it's going to look at the very end.
Exactly.
And then you say, oh yeah, I like that, and then suddenly you make the whole wall and you go, oh my God.
Wait a minute, and we don't
wait a
want
second,
anybody to worry about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we really make it clear from that first step, you know, and it does take a few meetings for us to get to this point, you know, where we start with that overall concept. We pull photos from Pinterest, from House, from all these various areas, from inspiration of other projects that we've done, projects that other designers have done. You know, we really start to pull it all together. We basically do a digital board for the client. Once they love the inspiration as much as we do, maybe they want a little bit more blue or a little bit more of one color or another. Maybe they want something totally different, and we really just focus on what they want. We revamp everything. We do the space plan. That's the second part of our process.
Yes.
And
It's
make
an
sure
important part of our process.
that's probably the most
Yes.
important, because we want to make sure that everything fits and everything works well. We do the elevations of the cabinetry, of the tile, of the bathrooms, so that we know where everything is going. Where is the hood going? Where is the tile going to start and end? Those transitions are so important. And then following it through to the selections process and making sure that each selection is in alignment with also what the client wants, right?
And I think it's super important when we're in that selection process phase. I have the concept in front of me, I have the space plan, I have my drawings, and I always go back and reference. So I think it's really important to have a strong concept from the get-go, because that is your anchor point to the entire project. Oh, did they like this one? Can't remember. Let me double check, you know? And so pulling the tiles, pulling the fabrics, every material, just to make sure that you're staying true to the initial concept. And it is really the starting point to every project. And it was so fun. It was so much fun.
It was.
And you guys luckily start from the ground up, because I have seen a lot of architects, for instance, they know what the architecture looks like, and then they build a wall, and then designer goes, well, that doesn't make sense where I'm going to put, for instance, the hood.
Right.
You know, so they just built the architecture and they don't know. And then designers, sometimes I've seen they built a whole room and it doesn't support the architecture, you know. So it's just like, okay, where's the wall, you know?
It's so
it's nice that you guys have both in hand and you can do that.
And we come in and we help the functionality of the space. I think we want it to look beautiful, of course, but how is, like Antoinette said, the client going to function and use a space? And that's where we come in and say, you know what? This isn't going to work. Let's change it here. And we were lucky enough to have a say in all of that. And that's why we love the ground up.
Yes,
that's nice.
We love doing it. You know, we are a design firm that does have that added element of doing interior architecture and really doing the entire process all the way through with those 3D renderings, with the added advantage of working with a team of really great contractors and tradesmen and bringing this to life. I mean, without all of those people involved, it's really difficult to get through a project like this. Having the architect involved, having a designer involved, having all the tradespeople and the contractor and the client especially really involved, it creates that beautiful, you know, trifecta essentially on a project. It's so important. And sometimes it feels like a heavy amount of money, I'm sure, to pay for everybody to really get together. But, you know, in that project management aspect, when things are being built and transitions are clean and perfect, and, you know, you have all of those tiles in the right place and the shower head is in the right place, or what, you know, the pendants are in the right place. It makes all the difference. You don't have to do it twice. There are no mistakes.
I would say let's do it right the first time, even if it takes a little bit more time. We triple check our work, because we don't want a phone call in 6 months and said, hey, something's not working. We want it to be done perfectly the first time.
Exactly.
High standards.
Thank you so very much,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
Appreciate it on this.
Thank you.
So we will be back with more of Design Santa Barbara with Antoinette after a short break. Stay tuned.
Santa Barbara Pizza House is your home for the best pizza in town. Embrace a symphony of flavors and textures with our pizzas. Drawing inspiration from both Chicago's deep dish legacy and Naples' artisanal heritage, our pizzas boast perfectly executed crusts, tantalizing sauces, and the finest mozzarella. Whether you're a seasoned pizza connoisseur or just looking for a delicious meal, our pizza here is sure to satisfy. Featuring specialty pizzas named after iconic Santa Barbara streets, our mouth-watering menu will have you coming back over and over again to try each new meal. We offer a full menu of salads, sides, sandwiches, and desserts. Santa Barbara Pizza House is conveniently located at 515 State Street in the heart of downtown Santa Barbara. Visit us online at sbpizzahouse.com or call and place your order at 805-637-7721. Santa Barbara Pizza House. You won't leave hungry.
Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. Today we are with Antoinette and Melanie.
She is our fabulous lead kitchen and bath designer and cabinet designer extraordinaire.
Wonderful.
And she did all the cabinetry in this beautiful house.
Yes.
You did a great job before you start on.
Yes.
Very nice.
She did.
So tell us a little bit about what you did and why.
Okay, well, one thing that we specialize in is custom kitchen cabinetry and bath cabinetry design. So we really like to work with the client to figure out how they like to use their space, make it most efficient for them. I like to start out by kind of going through one of their existing spaces with them to see what's working for them, what's not working for them, what they'd like to see in their new space.
Luckily with this client, it was so awesome because they do have an existing house, their primary residence, and they have a lot of these elements in their primary residence. So here we're in the bar, which, as you know, we redesigned a couple of times. And you know, we wanted to make sure that it was just as functional as possible. They wanted a bar that when they entertain, because they entertain so much, they could have a bartender serving and have it fully functional. So we've got a bunch of open shelving underneath here. We've got the dual refrigerators, and we've got open space areas for them to set up. And so it's really about how can we move easily in the space, grabbing what you need, making a cocktail. And Melanie worked with them a couple of times redesigning this in a few different configurations so that we could really optimize the functionality and make sure that they had every single thing that they needed, even down to a trash bin. We decided not to do a sink because it's fairly close here in the kitchen, but you know, this space really is exactly the vision of the client, and Melanie works so hard to bring that out, and you'll see that in the elements of the kitchen as well. Maybe talk a little bit about how you normally take a client through their existing kitchen to really talk, you know, see what they need in the space.
Well, we usually start around the sink area. That's kind of like the hub. And see how the location is working for them. You know, talk about how large of a stove they need. Do they like to cook for a whole party, or would they rather have more counter space and have less space taken up by the appliances? Things like that. What organizers they need in each specific drawer, just down to those little nitty-gritty details is really important. Everyone has different items in their kitchen that they like to store. You know, what do you want within reach when you're standing at the stove? What's most important to you?
Right.
Really, you know, just orient yourself in the space. And one thing that's important in kitchen design, we like to think about minimizing the amount of steps needed to get from the main points.
Right, that kitchen triangle we talk a lot about.
we want it to be most efficient, so you're not worn out by the time you're done cooking dinner.
Running from one side, and especially in a larger home, you know, but in a smaller home too, you really have to take into account where the sink, the stove, and the refrigerator are. And we do talk about that working triangle, no leg being longer than 10 feet, because it just becomes fairly inefficient to cook a meal if any of those are too far away from each other. You know, we're not putting a range 12 inches away from a refrigerator. It's too close. You don't have enough landing space. You don't have enough space to open the door. Maybe making sure your walkways are 42 inches or 48 inches if two people like to cook in the kitchen rather than the standard 36. Making sure your overhang is large enough on your island so that you can put your bar stool underneath all the way. You know, all of those little things that sometimes when one is designing their own kitchen, it's not second nature, not first nature either. So, and then the lighting design, you know, we'll talk to Megan here in a few, and lighting is key to everything as well. So it's all part of the same process, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of things that you learn as a designer over time. Just little details about the overhangs, about how much space you need between the top of the counter and the top of your stools to have a comfortable seating area for your guests.
Absolutely.
You know, just details about end panels and door clearances and door swings and things that most people don't think about, but it's what we do every day. So.
Yeah, and it makes or breaks a project. You know, if something's too close to the other. We actually went into a project that was one of the rebuilds from the mudslides actually, and the architect had put the refrigerator in a corner of the kitchen, and it really just was not functional. So it's so great to have multiple sets of eyes to come in and go, oh wait, that's not going to work. Let's redesign the kitchen, and we can do the elevations, and you know, that's the full view from the front and 3D rendering, so that the client can really see, how is this going to work for me? What do we need that's going to work for me? And like Melanie said, where do the oils go? Where do the spices go? Those are such important details. If you're a cook, you need to know exactly where that's going to go before your kitchen is even built.
I'm going to hire you to do my kitchen. That's it.
That's the plan.
That's it.
I don't want to overlook the beautiful finishes though.
Oh, yes.
Also,
absolutely.
This is like beautiful white oak, quartz countertop.
The navy blue on the bottom,
blue,
which pops off and ties the rest of the house together, pulling those colors in, really overlapping them.
And we used a light color finish on the cabinetry in the kitchen around the perimeter, and then used the navy blue as a focal point for the bar and for the island, because it really kind of draws your attention.
Absolutely.
And invites your family and guests to the seating areas.
Absolutely.
And they really wanted to focus on entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think this is just a great space for that.
You did a good job. Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Melanie.
Appreciate it for your expertise.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to have you again on our show.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so we will be back after a very short break. Today we are with Jess, the owner and creative director of Just LED at the Santa Barbara Design Center, and he's a marvel of lighting. So I understand there is a new recessed lighting that replaces the old clunky big ones, is more ergonomic, and you carry these. Can you explain to our viewers what this is all about and what kind of benefits they get out of it?
Yes, Michael, traditionally 6-inch and 4-inch has been the standard across America. The big clunky trims on the ceiling, you'll see them all over America. Since LED has come to another level on recessed fixtures, and as a designer, we like to see tight little go-away trims that you don't see, they're up in the ceiling. So we have trims that are 3.5 inches that go, the light sits up in the ceiling, so when you walk in it doesn't hit you in the face like the 6 and 4-inch traditional cans used to do. They also dim warm, so it's like the old traditional dimming. Everyone loves LED dimming to the way halogens used to. It's called warm dim, so they dim down nice and warmly. So, and it's all sat above the ceiling and it's all optical, sending shafts of light through the room, creating a great mood in the room.
Well, that's very nice, and I have seen it actually in your showroom. Come down here and see what he has to offer and make your house beautiful and warm. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. Today we are with Antoinette in one of her beautiful beach houses with her team. Please introduce your
Megan.
Yes, hello.
Megan is one of our fabulous designers on staff. She specializes in window treatments, lighting design, and does all of our project management to keep everything running smoothly.
She's the lady with the stick.
She is. She is. She keeps everything going in the background and in the forefront, really, honest, and keeps all of us on track.
Yeah, so one of the things we wanted to talk about is just how window treatments specifically and lighting tend to get overlooked in a project, because sometimes it's towards the end that you're talking about these details and maybe there's not as much money in the budget specifically as well. So in this home, you can see behind us we have kind of layered window treatments where we have a woven shade as well as the drapery with it. So it's kind of like a two function. So sometimes you just want to have the woven shade down, but then you also want to maybe close the lighting a little bit more from outside because you're maybe watching TV, you don't want to have the glare. So that was something that was very important to our clients and something we wanted to bring throughout the space. And as you've seen in some of the other clips of this home, one of the other areas that was a huge focal point is, of course, the view of the ocean.
Oh, yes.
But because this is a public beach, we also wanted to have that added layer of privacy.
Absolutely.
So we thought it was a great idea to come up with or utilizing a ceiling track so that you also could really highlight the height of the windows and just even the space. And it kind of just makes it feel more grand.
Absolutely.
And adds a softness with the drapery.
Absolutely.
So throughout the home, you'll see a mixture of the two throughout. And it really marries the space.
It does. And it lets a little bit of light come through. It gives a bit of a romantic feel, I think, with the draperies.
Yes.
Sometimes people stop just at the blind stage, you know? We joke about that. Don't stop at the blind stage.
Right.
Add that layer, even if it's a store-bought, you know, I mean, so many companies have great things and pre-manufactured draperies, pre-manufactured rods, things like that that you can get, and it just adds that layer of romance, I think, and softness to a space, and sound absorption, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and along with the window treatments, because it's controlling the light as well, it goes hand in hand with lighting.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we're just trying to cut it out, sometimes we're bringing it in, but then that also brings into the topic of being lighting experts as well. And in this project, you'll definitely see some focal points as far as chandeliers go, as well as even just general lighting or focused lighting when it comes to can lights, or just different functional light pieces when it comes to a table lamp over, by a desk when you're doing work. So things like that we really think about, and we want to make sure that everything's married throughout the space. So we're trying to just tell a story throughout the home, so nothing seems out of place, everything's coordinated and cohesive.
Absolutely. And really getting that lighting design, I think, on architectural plans and on a space plan in the beginning is so important. Where are those plugs going to go? Do you need a lit mirror for makeup? Do you need task lighting over the island plus ambient lighting? It's a lot like window treatments where you layer your lighting, you layer your window treatments. And when you're layering your lighting, you want the overall lighting. Put everything on a dimmer. That is my tip of the day. Put everything on a dimmer that you can. And that way you can control the mood. You can control the way a room feels along with the layered window treatments. That's almost like a dimmer, If you have a blackout shade, get a light filtering drape. Or vice versa. If you have a light filtering shade, get a blackout drape so you have options, which is so awesome. And speaking of options, as a project manager, you are really keeping all of our options, in alignment and going everything through. So with this particular project, this was an orchestration.
Yes. Lots of checking in with the design team and just making sure everything is in its place, checking in just procurement wise, but even, again, speaking a little bit more to the lighting factor, there's floor cores. So that if we wanted to add a table lamp over here, for example, that option is here. So before the flooring is laid down, we came here with our tape measures to make sure that they were in the appropriate locations, because if they weren't, that was the time to change it.
Absolutely.
And also, does it make sense for the size of the sofa and where that's landing? So there's so many moving parts. And the best thing about having a team is that we all have just different areas of expertise, and when all of our brains are put together, we're all just thinking about different things, and it's a great way to get a fabulous final project.
Well, that's wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, Antoinette, thank you so very much. This is amazing knowledge that our viewers are getting. It's actually priceless, to be honest with you. It's one of the very few shows that we have had that actually audience learns a lot about something. Thank you for your expertise and your team.
Wonderful.
Or you can hire her instead of learning. So
there we go.
Anyway, I
Give
thank
us a
you
call,
all.
Antoinette Designs.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
you.
Thank you for being our show. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to having you again soon, hopefully.
Yes, we hope so too.
We see you next week on Design Santa Barbara. Thank you for watching.